All right, so we have another watch in from About Vintage. In years past, I've done quite a few collaborations with this company and have actually had really good quality watches from this brand out of Copenhagen, Denmark. Their build quality is always top notch, and their packaging as well. They actually create these custom made wood boxes. They are absolutely stunning, and the presentation on these is absolutely great. This here is the 1956 Marine Automatic Diver, and this one is inspired by the divers back in the 1950s, where these were essential tools for divers in regards to timing, and it just pays homage to these watches of the era, which is the whole company is about vintage pieces and giving the proper respect and a nod to watches of this era, and this one is absolutely no different. This here definitely looks like a watch that could come out of the 1950s, with the exception of it being a bigger size. So let's get into those dimensions. We're getting a 41 millimeter case diameter, and our thickness, being an automatic watch, is at 13.8 millimeters thick. We'll get into the movement that's powering this in a minute. Our lug width is actually 20 millimeters, and we're going to taper down slightly to 18 millimeters. Our lug to lug is a very wearable 49 millimeters. And I'm actually going to show it to you on the wrist to show you how indeed wearable it is. Today I'm wearing my Swiss Watch Company automatic all titanium with the Strapsco sailcloth strap. So let's make a trade here. So we're going to put this Cordoba strap. So this is actually, before I put this on, sorry to tease you guys, but this is actually a Cordoba fabric strap. Cordoba is actually very well known in the industry for the quality of their fabrics. You've got a leather-like backing. You can wear this in the water. You do have your About Vintage Scav Anderson there, which gives it that personal touch, and you do get the branded logo as well on the buckle, which is polished. I would have actually preferred, because your case or the case is indeed all brushed, that you would also get a brushed buckle, but I'm going to be nitpicking here because no watch is perfect. So if I were to give any type of feedback, there you go with that. Now again, with the Cordoba fabric, since it's so tightly and well made, tightly woven and well made, you do have the water resistance qualities of this strap, but it also is going to resist tearing and fraying. A lot of these canvas straps, you'll see as time goes by, they just start to fall apart. You start seeing fraying, ripping, tearing, whatnot. So this is definitely a good quality strap, and you do get that quick change system, which is always nice. All you need is a fingernail, and you can change these straps on the dime. You just pivot one side and you click it in. Simple as that, guys. And I can actually show this to you on other straps as well. I actually have a sailcloth strap that I could show you as well. So let me show it to you on the wrist before you guys click off the video. So here we go. We're going to put this onto, I have a 7-inch wrist, and as you can see, it actually fits perfectly on there. And again, as I said, a 49 millimeter lug to lug is going to make it very wearable for larger wrists and even smaller wrists. Very, very nicely done. The other thing that you can say about vintage, even though they are giving you designs from the vintage periods, you're going to get the modern day elements. So for instance, you take a look at this crystal, you're automatically assuming, since it's inspired by the 1950s divers, that it's going to have acrylic. But not in this case. You're actually going to get double domed sapphire crystal, but not just a double domed sapphire crystal. You're going to get AR coating underneath that crystal as well for superior readability. The other thing you're going to get is a ceramic bezel, which is a first time used from About Vintage. So this is the first time they're using ceramic bezels on their watches here, and this one does not disappoint. And again, so with the ceramic, you're actually going to get that superior scratch resistance and durability. Typically with a painted bezel, it's very prone to scratching, and it starts getting kind of ugly after a while with the scratches on the paint. So this here, you're not going to have any scratches, and it does look very nice. Your bezel actually is 120 click. We'll take a listen. Very good action, by the way. It's not loose, it's not tight, it's just right. Back play, just as I would expect, just a little bit, not much. Very precise, and everything lines up nicely. When we take a look at the dial is actually done in blue. So it's a sandblasted sandwich dial. So when you look at the dial, you'll see the depth. So at your 12 and 6 o'clock positions, you're actually getting a sandwich dial. And your applied markers are going to go throughout the remainder of the indices. Now, when we talk about a sandwich dial, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's essentially two dials pressed on top of one another. The underneath layer is going to have your Super-LumiNova, and that's what's going to show through. Okay. Every indice and the handset is going to have Super-LumiNova, and I'm going to show you guys a lume shot here. You guys can be the judge in regards to the lume. I like what they did with the dial. They have taken feedback from customers. I've read comments, I've seen reviews, it's even in my own review in regards to we don't want to see About Vintage by Scott Anderson written on the dial. It's just too much, and it does in a way cheapen the look of the watch. So I like how they do the, sorry about that, let me get the hands out of the way. Put it in a traditional 10 o'clock, 10, like it's usually around 10, like 10:08 is usually the position of the hands. And actually the second hand is usually somewhere around there. And this way we can get a good view of the dial. So I like what they did here. I like their symbol. Okay, it's very simple, but it's also distinguishable. I like how they do AV, About Vintage, 1956 Marine, 200 millimeters, which is a very good depth rating, 660 feet of water resistance. And I like how they do automatic on the bottom there. Very just simplistic. Some might say it's too much. I think it's just enough. It's all a personal preference. On the bottom there, as you can see written, Copenhagen, Japan movement. So what movement are they running? Well, you're not going to be able to see the movement, but they do have it written here on the back. And here's all your information. I like how they do it. I think it's very well done. It's not in your face, but you can definitely see that you are getting an About Vintage watch. Okay, designed in Copenhagen. It actually has the coordinates of where the watch is made. Very, very cool touch. And then it'll show you the Miyota 8215 movement. So what are you getting with the standard 8215 movement? And by the way, I like what they do with the cases. Something, a very simple design, free engraving available, by the way, guys. Very, very cool touch. I've actually taken advantage of that in the past. So if you want your watches engraved, it will be done for free. So very nice touch. You do get a screw down crown, by the way. So the specs on the Miyota 8212, you're going to get 21,600 beats per hour, 21 joules, 42-hour movement. And this one is a very, very accurate. I was getting 0 to +1 second a day for the accuracy. Very, very, very nicely done. Miyota 8215s are really good movements, very, very durable. In my opinion, I love the vintage vibes of this piece with the modern materials used. I love just the fact that like this is a very wearable, very daily wearable watch. You got a very comfortable strap. There is a little bit of a break-in period because, again, that Cordoba fabric is a tighter fabric, so it is actually, as you can see, something that's, you're going to have to wear it for a day or two, but it's not something that's, as cumbersome as like a thick leather strap. It's not a huge break-in period, okay? I mean, I remember putting this on my wrist, and it was comfortable right away. You do get a bunch of strap options. So the default is this strap. However, you can get it on a metal strap. You can get it on a Zulu strap. They have a rubber strap. They have a lot of different options. And I'm showing you here all the different options that can come with this watch. This watch here is limited edition for the first batch in 100 in black and blue. This one here, I think, is the second, third, fourth batch at this point. The white version is only limited to 100 pieces, and then they are done. So this one here is not the limited edition piece. However, you are getting good value with this one at $449 retail. I think this watch is definitely a steal, pardon the pun. You are getting 316L stainless steel, and I'll tell you, this is definitely a piece that, like, when I looked on the website and then I got it in person, the pictures just don't do it justice. So I highly recommend this piece. So there you go. That's my 2 cents. You guys can keep the change. Until next time, God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode of Average Joe Watch Reviews. Thanks so much.